Alright, this is my first video in the series of me fixing things that go wrong with my car. Today I'm going to be showing you how to replace the ignition switch on a 2003 Mitsubishi Galant. I realized it was most likely the ignition switch when I tried to turn on my car yesterday. Turned the key, nothing happened. I jiggled the key in the ignition while trying to turn it over, and it did start. So it's likely to be the ignition switch. So I'm going to show you guys how to replace it. So first off, you're going to remove the top of your steering wheel cover that sits like this on top. If I can remember, the screw is right here. And then you have two screws where you adjust, if you guys can see that, two screws where you adjust the steering wheel height. And then I will get back to you guys once I finish taking those out. Alright, so what I've done is I've taken off my lower dash cover. This is going to give me better access to get back here, unplug these, take that off, and actually put the new piece in. To get it off, there's going to be multiple screws, one here, down below, somewhere around here. You want to take off your fuse cover before you do it. I believe, so there's a screw here, here, over here, down back there, and one over here. And you pop off your controls for mirrors and the fog lights if you have them. It just pops out. And yeah, so now we're just gonna unplug these two cables. Actually, yeah, it looks like we need to unplug it because this one is secured to this one. You can see in there, it slides onto that. But then it looks like we just take out the two screws holding it in, and then we should be good to plug in the new one and go. Okay, so I have gotten the plug off. You don't actually need to unplug this one. It only slides on. I was trying to unplug it, slid it out that way, and realized, okay, we don't need to do that. When removing this plug, just be careful. On the opposite side of it, there is a small clip that you need to push in, and it pushes this little clip down that clips into this piece here. So I found it easier to come over to this side on this sort of an angle, and it was plugged in right here. So all I did was I pushed in the clip, pulled it out, and now I'm going to remove the screws, take out the old ignition switch, and put in the new one. So I just realized that they aren't actually screws or Allen keys in the ignition switch. They're actually these star-shaped screws. I apologize for not knowing the actual name of it, but the T15 appears to be the right size for it. So I'm going to take those screws out, and then I will be back. Alright, I have the old switch out. Looks a little bit worn on the inside. The space in there is really pretty tight to try and get these screws out. I was trying to use this so I could get some actual torque on it to get it out. I ended up just doing this and using the best that I could of finger strength to loosen the bolts, and it got it out just fine. So that's what I'd recommend doing if you don't want to take off your upper dash, because really the screw ends up being like this, so you got no room to get a screwdriver in there. But we're going to install the new one, plug it in, and just reassemble everything in reverse order. So I decided I will show step by step how to put it back together, just for anybody that is a little bit forgetful or doesn't want to go back and watch each step and figure out what they got to do in reverse. So I plugged this back in after screwing in the new ignition switch, slid this clip back on, and now I guess first I will, I guess I should slide on the lower cover, and then put this back on. Actually, yeah, I think I will put the lower dash cover on first, and then I should be able to slide that in over top of the steering wheel adjuster. Alright, so I've put in all the screws for the lower dash. I'm going to plug this back in, which is a little bit of a bitch sometimes. These plugs don't sit exactly how they should to allow the controls to plug back in, so you might have to fidget with them a little bit to try and get it to actually plug in. Seems like my mirror controls are always the one that doesn't quite sit where it should. But if I can wrestle with it a little bit. And hoping there we go. And then it just, if I can get it to clip back in, there we go. Now I'm going to install the lower steering wheel cover, the upper steering wheel cover, put my fuse panel back on, and reconnect the battery and see if it works. Okay, so just about as I expected with everything on this car. It's got to be difficult. I have the lower cover installed, the upper cover installed. The previous owner thought it would be nice to strip the screw for here, so it is only held on by the right side screws, the one under here, and the one right here, the one on the left side over here. Oop, fingers on the way, right there. This one is actually stripped, but yeah, so the cover's back on, this is back on. Everything should be back together, and I'm going to reconnect the battery, and we will see if it starts. Alright, I have reconnected the battery, and time for the moment of truth. Beautiful. Well, that is how you replace the ignition switch in your 2003 Mitsubishi Galant.